A week ago, Microsoft has announced a new partnership with Asus to produce a new handheld console called Xbox ROG Ally X. And I've got all the details. I've got the games that this console is going to be able to run, and I've got specs and potential price and release date. So let's look into it. But first, shout out to Desktronic, the sponsor of the channel. They offer great quality desks and chairs for both professional and gaming use. Right now they offer 30% discount on their products, and if you use the code MADS, you will get additional 40 euros discount on top of that. For more info on the products and discounts, please check the description of the video below. Alright guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I made a video on this channel, so today we're going to start with this new product, Asus ROG Ally, or should I really say Xbox ROG Ally and Asus ROG Ally X, because there's going to be two handheld consoles. Today I'm going to be talking about this console's specs, features and potential price and release date that has been leaked as well, and also games and all kinds of stuff. And obviously we'll try to answer the question if that's really an Xbox console, because some people actually do say that, although I may actually leave that for another video. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, let's talk about these two consoles. First off, this is the way they look, and also this is the description of their, let's just say, the most basic specs, right? So we've got at the bottom, we've got the lower spec console. So it comes with AMD Ryzen Z2A, and this is I think 4-core CPU with some 8-core GPU. We'll talk about it in a minute. It comes with 16 gigabytes of memory and 512 gigabytes of storage. So we're talking about like SSD drive, right? On top of that, we've got the more powerful console. By the way, even though the picture doesn't really show it, they are identical except maybe colors, but you know, on this particular marketing material, it kind of shows, it doesn't really show, it tricks you into thinking that maybe the top one is bigger one, but it's not. They are literally identical in terms of the way they look, the way they are built when it comes to, you know, basically the box, right? The shell. So they are the same. The colors may be different, right? That's pretty much it. When it comes to specs for and the more powerful one, so ROG Xbox Ally X. I don't know, I like to call it Xbox ROG Ally X. It comes with AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme, 24 gigabytes of memory, 1 terabyte of storage, right? There's also some more GPU cores on this one, so it's not only more powerful in terms of CPU and more memory, but also GPU wise as well, and we'll get to the specs literally in a minute. So this is the way they look, and when it comes to games and, let's just say, features, you know, this console can run pretty much everything you can run on PC, right? As long as the specs are good, because obviously I'm not necessarily saying that every single game will run on these consoles, especially the lower spec one. So, you know, bear that in mind. But generally speaking, when it comes to playing games on that console, like you can play Xbox Game Pass games, you can play Xbox Store games, right? So also you can play Xbox games. Well, that's why it's called Xbox, but only play anywhere games that you bought on Xbox. So if there's over 1,000 games right now in that play anywhere library, so if you've got any of those games, play anywhere games on your Xbox, you will be able to basically download them and play them on that handheld as well. When it comes to operating system, I think that's very important as well. Well, this is a new version of Windows. Basically, it loads without the desktop, right? So you don't have the Windows 11 desktop with all the icons and everything. You don't have the file manager and Explorer, I think it's called. I don't really remember how it's called now. So apparently it saves you 2 GB of RAM. So that's good, because that means that there's more RAM for games. And I would recommend, really, if you want to play some, games, even especially in the future, I mean, go and invest in the more powerful one. It's not only about the power per se, but also memory, because 24 gigs of RAM is, well, it's better than 16, because 16 is really not a lot. Because when it comes to 16 gigabytes of RAM on PC, that's different, because on PC, like a desktop PC, you get, for example, 16 gigabytes of RAM, like the main RAM, and then you've got additional VRAM on your GPU, while with this one, you share, right? So the main memory, the 16 gigabytes of RAM, is being shared between the CPU and GPU, right? So, 24 sounds much better. It's like having a 16 gigabytes of RAM on your PC and 8 gigabytes of VRAM, right? So I'm not sure how it's, whether this is going to be like located automatically or something like that. We'll see. So bear with that in mind. Power is one thing. Obviously, the more powerful is also more performant, but when it comes to that, also, I wanted to point out that they both really comes with 7-inch IPS 1080p 120 Hz VRR screen, so it's not OLED. I know that some people will be disappointed. The more powerful one comes with 80 watts hour battery, so that's great. That means hopefully if you limit the power usage to like 20-25 watts, like it may give you around 3 hours of play. Also, the less powerful one comes with 1660 watts hour battery, so bear that in mind. Now, when it comes to specs, let's look at the specs, because I think they are even more interesting. So here is the whole series of processors from AMD. We're talking about Z2 series, and basically these two consoles that we talking about here today, literally we've got CPUs on the top and the very bottom. So let's start with the less powerful one, so the AMD Ryzen Z2A, so the one at the very bottom. So you can see that it's the least performant of the really 5 here, but of the two consoles, and it comes with 8 GPU cores. So, and also on top of that, we're talking about RDNA 2 cores, right? So these are like 4 years old kind of technology cores, right? CPU wise, we're talking about 4 cores, 8 threads, Zen 2. Memory speed, obviously memory speed will be obviously lower as well. So it's not only about the less memory, but also slower memory. So we've got here LPDDR5 6400 MT per second, and obviously this particular GPU, I mean SoC, really will draw anything between 6 to 20 watts, right? But you've got configurable TDP, so you can adjust, to your needs. Depends on what kind of games you want and what kind of performance you want to get. So that's the first one. So obviously, when it comes to performance, a lot of people compare it to current Steam Deck, right? So that's like Steam Deck is like what, 3 years old now. So it's nothing really revolutionary. But the more powerful one is actually quite impressive, to be honest with you, because not only you get 16 GPU cores, so twice the number of cores, the compute units really, but they call it cores now. I don't know why. Maybe just for easier understanding of anyway. So 16 GPU cores, and these are RDNA 3.5 cores, right? So we're talking about not only more cores, but also newer technology, so they will be even more efficient, right? On top of that, 8 CPU cores, not 4, and 16 threads, not 8 as the bottom one, and that's Zen 5 CPU. So obviously the IPC will be higher on this one as well. And obviously the faster memory, because we're talking about LPDDR5X, and we're talking about 8,000 MTs per second, so much faster memory as well. I don't know much about the bandwidth. I really do hope that it will come at least with 128-bit bus. That's my hope, but I couldn't find any information on that. We'll have to probably wait and see. And on top of that, this particular one comes with also NPU, which is built into the actual GPU, and it offers like 50 AI tops, so it has much better, it will perform even much better in any kind of machine learning tasks, right? So it's much better. So in general, you can see that when it comes to like for raw performance, we'll have to wait and see, but like in theory, it's at least double the performance of the lower spec one. And both consoles should be available this year, apparently in October. And the price is going to be, well, that's the leak, and we're talking about euros for now. We're talking about 600 euros, so probably $600 for the low spec one, and obviously for the more powerful one, more, which is supposed to be around I think 799, so 800 euros, which, to be honest with you, 200 euros extra gives you well, double the CPU performance, maybe even more, double the GPU performance even more memory, faster memory, more storage, double the storage. So to be honest with you, I think it's no brainer. I don't really I would not recommend anyone to buy the lower spec one, right? Like, save some extra money, wait maybe for price drop when it comes, next year or something. But if I were to buy any of those two, I would go for the obviously more powerful one and more expensive, because that extra 200 euros will buy you a lot, really a lot, right? So guys, that's the video really. Obviously we'll still have to wait and see where for like performance and games and and that kind of stuff. There's been some previews already. People were testing this out. Apparently it's very comfortable and plays games very well, but how these things go, we'll just have to wait and see. But it looks promising. Also, I think this device is like first step into the next generation of Xbox, but because this video is getting a little bit too long anyway, so I'll probably talk about this topic in another video, probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. As for now, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate all support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.